dude, this woman is obviously not well. I mean, she's running around calling, young kids the N-word. But some of the shit that she says here, guys, okay, some of the shit that she says here where she's like, we need to stick together, right? She's like, your support, like, we can do this. We need to stick together. We need to stop, like, being worried about words, these people that are sensitive over words. Now, you can talk a lot about words, but the N-word in America has hundreds of years of brutal history. There's no fucking reason that white people need to be calling black people the N-word anymore, okay? We should be paying fucking reparations to black people. You know what I'm saying? We should be remaking our institutions to remove the institutionalized racism, right? Like, the police, like Grover over here, but we sure as fuck don't need to be white fucking supremacists coming out and about and dredging up this fucking racism that we're spreading around without fucking sensitivity, But anyway, I'm going to pull this in here. We're going to watch this thing. Yeah, dude, they've already brought back the R word. They've already brought back the F slur. Okay, I feel like the F slur and the R word have already come back. And people are just, at least on Twitter, I can imagine it's already back in schools. I'm certain that's where it's going to start, right? It's going to start in middle school with some overweight kid or some kid who's too skinny or some kid who doesn't have the right hair or the right genes or they're a little bit gender non-conforming or a little bit different, just getting harassed with the F slur. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been there. Yeah, so here she goes.
I'm Shiloh Hendrix. I wanted to take a little time to talk to you all about what's been going on with my fundraiser and kind of the aftermath of the park situation. Also some concerns that have been brought to my attention. There are a lot of people who think that this has all been a scam, that I haven't been getting my money and that it's not going to me. I have gotten every dime of my money. It's all gone to me. Nobody has asked me for any money. So there's that. Rest assured, all the money has gone to me. When this first started, I had a handful of people helping me out. Anglo-Saxon Girl, Tom Hennessy, Paul Miller, and Ofsterbone, Avi. And they really just were kind of guiding me through this time and promoting my fundraiser and getting the word out there about everything that was going on. So I am forever grateful for all of them for that. And then the Avi thing happened where he got fired from his job and uploaded a video and started his own fundraiser. That had nothing to do with myself and the rest of the people that were involved. As soon as we found out the truth about all of that, I severed ties with him immediately. I am not married to him.
Oh, I guess somebody else tried it afterwards too? Like, yeah, dude, this is like, the whole thing is so shady, right? The whole thing is so shady.
I don't know him. I've never met any of these people. So I just want to shut that down right now.
Yeah, you're real believable, right? Shiloh Hendrix, like clearly the woman who walks around, calling a kid the N-word and then monetizes that in a really shady way. Like, yeah, we really believe what you say when you say you're not a crook that's working in concert with other weirdos that are trying to monetize rage bait. Like, naturally, we know you, the stand-up person who walks around calling young black kids the N-word and then monetizing that shit. Clearly, you're the one we can trust.
Yeah. When I first found out that the park video was going viral, it was terrifying, but not surprising, because obviously he was recording me. It was going to get out there at some point. I did not realize I was going to have so much support and have all of you people rally around me and have my back in this situation. And it was very overwhelming. And I am so grateful for you all for that. When this first happened and I went on X and I saw Anglo-Saxon Girl had posted my video, I messaged her and I was like, hey, that's me. Just kind of needing somebody like-minded to talk to.
Somebody like-minded, a fellow racist who like supports me. She found somebody on Twitter. She reached out to them and this is what it starts. But that part where she's like, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the support, right? She called a kid the N-word and she's like, I feel so supported, right? And yes, Anglo-Saxon Girl is she found a fellow racist that had a big fucking following or whatever that was pumping her video. Now watch, here's where you get into it being cooked up.
And of course she didn't know it was me. So we went through the whole process of, proving who I was. And that's when we kind of got the whole fundraiser started and set up. And yeah, the rest of that is history. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up. And if we stick together, if we keep fighting back.
How proud she is of everybody if we tribe up and stick together and keep fighting back. The white people, like to her, saying the N-word and monetizing that is fighting back against what? Black people being able to exist without you using racial slurs connected to enslavement? You fucking bitch. Dude, this woman, I swear to you, there's going to be a lot of people, if they ever see this woman on the street, like she's going to have to watch her back forever, right? But watch this part. This part is alarming.
Yeah, the rest of that is history. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up and if we stick together and if we keep fighting back. Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word. I am just so thankful for you all. We are in the process of looking for a home. We have looked at some, getting out of the state and starting a new life. And I want to have a quiet life. I don't plan on, being an influencer. I don't plan on doing interviews. That's just not something that I would ever want to do. It's not on my agenda. So maybe someday, but I don't foresee it happening anytime soon. We're all doing okay. We've been moving around a lot. It's been an adventure. It's fun to see new places and, been kind of an outlaw. Again, I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this. And yeah, I haven't said anything on here. I haven't done any sort of videos or spoke to anybody really. So I felt like it was about time to clear the air and just kind of, keep you updated with what's going on. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you, everyone. And I will talk to you later.
The level of hoods off that exists in our society right now is really hard. I mean, she certainly didn't make any friends through this ordeal, but it's fucked up though, the level of comfort with which these racist people they're so willing to, will put a KKK hood on in the middle of the day and then fold it up and be like, hey, you like my new fucking hat? Dude, this shit is wild, man. It's a fucking heartbreaking.
Obviously, that's the case. As we covered previously, after the video went viral, though, Hendrix will crowdfund in order to, quote unquote, protect her family and racists from all over the internet. Raised over $750,000 in donations from her. And now really think about that. You know, part of the logic behind why Trump won the election is because Americans ain't got no money, but we got enough money to do this. You know?
Yeah, no money. We got no money for eggs, right? But boy, you can sure donate to fucking racists.
Like we got enough money to break Black Friday records and raise almost $1 million for a woman who doesn't particularly need it. You know, but that it is what it is. We should be focused on healthcare, health insurance. That's an issue that impacts everybody. Don't you think that's more important? Don't you think that infrastructure is more important? St. Louis just got destroyed by a tornado. Don't you think that it's more important that we're prepared for things like that? No. It's the culture wars. That's the biggest deal to these people. And really a big part of that is our culture of individualism, in my opinion. It's who cares about my neighbor? I want what I want. And oftentimes, to me, that pushes a lot of Americans to stand on business, even if they're wrong, stand on their ego, stand on whatever it is that they're pushing because they don't want to backtrack.
Yeah. See, now one thing I do want to point out how I feel like this is sort of a fever pitch thing, because you may have noticed in the last year, okay, since obviously the rise of Trumpism and you know, Trump going against a black woman and all the racism that exhibited in that campaign, but we saw people like that woman Lily Gaddis, who was on Twitter and she said the N-word on TikTok and whatever. She got banned. It went viral. It spread everywhere, and then she became a right-wing influencer. And next thing you know, she's got like followers on Twitter because Elon pumps that shit. And then she's making content with Sneeko and Nick Fuentes and whatever, and all those other like deep red pill people. So there has been a resurgence of people saying and doing profoundly racist shit in order to buy their way into this sort of right-wing racism, you know, anti-LGBTQ, anti-people of color sort of movement that's rising up behind Donald Trump and behind, you know, the Heritage Foundation and all these racists that are behind, you know, Project 2025. It's been building to a fever pitch. You know, Daniel Penny choking out the black guy, right? The cops shooting black people. You know, they're rooting for Derek Chauvin. It's like the same fucking shit. It's this shadow war that we've been fighting, you know, under the umbrella of the civil rights movement. And it's just gotten really, really exacerbated since, you know, a black man was president.
But because she raised so much money for this, it's clear as day that, yes, America has problems with racism still. It hasn't gone away. We know the systemic issues that we have. We know the problems of infrastructure that we have. Here in my hometown, what are the areas that got hit the worst? Where the poor people are. Who is more likely to be poor? People of color. This is a real issue. Where's the insurance located? Where the money is? On the north side in St. Louis, a lot of that is never going to get picked up. A lot of these people are never going to get anything back because they don't have insurance because they're poor, and that is more likely to impact black people and brown people and people of color.
Now, one thing I can vouch for, having I toured the United States, you know, 20 years ago, and I played everywhere, okay? And there are a lot of cities in America that have very high black populations. Okay, I'm going to name some of them. Houston is one. St. Louis is one. Detroit, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Atlanta, okay? Jackson, Mississippi, okay? There are cities that have like very, very high black populations. Baltimore. I played all of those cities. New Orleans, yes. Indianapolis. Now, what's interesting about all of these cities, guys, every one of them, large swaths, huge portions of the black population are squeezed into neighborhoods that are poor as f. In some of them, you can literally like cross some train tracks or a highway and you will be in fucking the nicest fucking neighborhoods on the planet. Cleveland in particular and Baltimore have some of the most severe like neighborhood switches where, guys, it is fucking heartbreaking. Where you go into some neighborhoods that are like starved of investment, you cross a highway, you cross some train tracks, and you will be in some of the nicest, most cared for parts of the fucking city, bro. And it is like kids are growing up there, and they're growing up on like the poor side, the minority side. And they're like, why don't we have any of that investment? Why don't we have those nice parks? Why don't we have those nice businesses? Why don't we have those nice houses? Why are we drinking from lead pipes? You know what I mean? And this shit ain't like, there's no reason we can't be fucking repairing that shit. But we don't, guys. We live in a climate of like severity like that. And now if you live in a neighborhood that's like moderately mixed, or in a neighborhood that's like 90% white, you may not even know this world exists. But I promise you, if you go into the fucking cities, you go into every city with a high black population. Chicago's another one. I've been in all those cities. I've been in the most urban parts of those cities, playing in rock clubs. And like the difference in lifestyle afforded to the white people with money and the people that are squeezed into these neighborhoods that are effectively trapped because there's no way for them to like get out. Like, how do you get out, right? If you go into those neighborhoods, maybe if you were born in fucking Aaron Donald's body to where you're going to become an NFL star, but even if you're a great student in that environment, there's so many odds stacked against you. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things stacked against you to prevent you from like ever getting out of that. And what's more, the way our financial system goes is if a whole bunch of people of color get out of that neighborhood and move into one of those white neighborhoods, if too many people of color move into the white neighborhood, it becomes a people of color neighborhood. And the white people pack up their shit and they go move somewhere else while the property values fall because of the minority and the poor people. So this whole system we live in is stacked up to fuck people that aren't like white wealthy people. And at some point, we have to fucking like pull the plug on this system, and we have to build it in a way that has some equitable distribution of resources. Okay? And man, when you go into the poor fucking neighborhoods in some of these like high minority population cities, you see like, goddamn, bro, it really is the fucking system. It is a system that was built by people who owned slaves that then freed the slaves, but then built a system of just making sure that certain people in America never have any fucking opportunity. And here we are, 60 years after the civil rights movement, and we have motherfucking, women calling kids the N-word and making millions of dollars saying we need to fight back. And it's like, fuck you. Shiloh Hendrix, you ain't fighting back. You know what I'm saying? We need to fight for effective change, guys. Because this shit is like, if you see some of the inner cities, it's heartbreaking, man. It is heartbreaking. Like, dude, I literally cried when I walked around in fucking Baltimore, man. Like, Baltimore was like, had one of the most severe neighborhood blight to wealthy waterfront property. That like the lifestyles where you just think of like the kids that are born on the blight side, their message very early on that like, man, this life ain't for you. You don't get that life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't get that life. And it is like fucking shocking, dude. Like, and you look at it and you think to the people, no matter what color they are, that are born into that blight side, like, it's one of those things where it's so fucking bad there that there's no way that people are born there, like, seeing a way out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, I speak from some of this shit because I was born into a family, guys, of like, and this is different. It's not about racism, but I was born into a family of alcoholism and child abuse, being sexually abused and being physically and emotionally abused by alcoholic parents. And like, I didn't fucking see a way out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see a way out. And not only that, though, I was told the way out was to go to college and like get a degree and all that. And so I got straight A's my whole fucking life. I survived all the fucking abuse on playgrounds and being the smart kid that got straight fucking A's and graduated 4.2 GPA, went to UCLA, right? Was a star swimming athlete. I did everything right and I got to UCLA. And all the emotional shit caught up with me. And next thing you know, drug addiction and all this other shit. And like, dude, even doing it all right, I couldn't shake the like disorders and diseases that came from growing up in a really abusive and neglectful environment. And I was exceptional, okay? I was an exceptional student with an exceptional mind and an exceptional drive, an exceptional ability to be able to succeed and, white male. And it was still hard as fuck to survive that like family of origin, man. And so the people that are born into those really rough fucking neighborhoods, we act like, man, they should just be able to flip a fucking switch and make all that shit go away. And it's like, dude, it's not, okay? It's not that easy. Like, we need to do something about the income, the wealth distribution in this country and bring some equity to this fucking world, guys. And if we don't, we're just creating, more violence and more unrest and more pain that's going to work its way out in some other fucking unpleasant way. But we have the resources to do it. This shit is fucking heartbreaking. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.